Sunday was Walden's Pro-Am event, round 2 of the MSC series, and it was packed. There was a lot of riders. There was wall-to-wall campers, wall-to-wall bikes. It was packed. Every class had at least like 15 to 20 riders in it. Unfortunately, that's just because of the Pro-Am. On a regular race day, you probably won't see that many in every class. But either way, it was good for the sport. Good for racing locally. The track was gnarly. The track was rough. There was a lot of ruts. They tilled it really deep. After practice, it got super rutted. I made it to practice, barely, but there was a lot of riders that didn't get a chance to practice because sign-up was so long. It literally took me, I think I got there at 8:30. It took me 2 hours to sign up because there was so many riders there. Everybody was doing the best they could to get the riders done as quickly as possible. Kudos to the Walden crew and Jamie and everybody at MSC. They did a good job getting all the riders signed up in an efficient time. Yeah, so first moto had a bad start, had a bad jump off the gate. I wheelied off the start, so I was instantly dead last. Passed a couple guys in the first turn. Everybody kind of funneled to the inside. I went outside, tried to pass some guys. Got past a couple. I think some passed me back, but overall, I felt like I rode pretty good. I rode better than I did at Orange County. Felt more comfortable, was able to do the jumps. Didn't feel good in the ruts, as I still got to work on rut practice. The front section I'm still not comfortable doing, just because I'm worried about my bike bouncing and me getting slammed to the ground. That happened to me a few times years ago at Walden. I remember one time, the first double that they have at Walden, I crashed pretty hard. I think I cross-rutted up the face and crashed and woke up to 15 people around me. That was a pretty good concussion that day. One of the many that I've gotten. Yeah, I've had a lot of concussions. So, either way, first moto was a good moto. For me, I felt comfortable. Hold on, I gotta open this window. It's fucking hot in here. Whew, sweating like a pig. Don't mind the lawn mowing. Moto 2, I ended up I ended up 11th in the first moto out of 15 riders. Had a better start. They knocked it down to 2 laps because they were running behind. I don't think they anticipated having as many riders as they did. Either way, my second moto went off about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. So they knocked it down to 2 laps. So I was like, great, I'll do good in this one. I just need a good start. I got a decent jump. I think I was 7th or 8th. One guy fell in front of me, so it bumped me up. Went around the first turn, went over the section, did the jumps, went into the second turn, and I looked down at a rut that I told myself I wasn't going to hit, and I missed it, and my front end washed out. And I crashed. So by the time I got going again, bad time to do this. By the time I got going again, the C riders had caught up to me. So I was pretty much trying to get out of the way of them because about the top 5 C riders should really be in the B class because they're that fast. Trying to watch out for them, not get taken out by the leaders, and also try to catch up to the B class, which was near impossible. So, did what I could. I ended up with 9th in that moto, which was way better than I expected. So I went 11-9 for 9th overall. I'm sitting 4th in points. So starting this season, I would not have thought that I would have been 4th in points. I for sure would have thought I would have been further back. But overall, it was a fun day. My bike had some issues. Coming to find out, Sunstar products are not the same as other products. For example, Pro Taper. I had on a Pro Taper front sprocket, when I got there, I noticed that it was missing a tooth. Went over to Moto. They had a front sprocket for me, which was a Sunstar front sprocket. So I threw it on, it fit. I didn't think anything of it. Went out for practice, did practice, no problem, bike handled fine. Then when I got off, I realized that the rear wheel would barely spin. It felt like there was a ton of resistance, as if somebody was holding down the rear brake. I checked the rear brake, checked the chain, took the chain off, spun the wheel, it spun fine. That eliminated any issues with the brake. At that time, I thought it was the clutch, because my bike does stall every now and then. I'll pull the clutch in a corner and it'll die. Maybe like once or twice total, like on the day of riding. So I figured the clutch plates are probably going bad. Time to replace the clutch. Nothing I can do there because nobody had a clutch. So I just tried not to use it, which in my case is very difficult because I pull the clutch in constantly going into turns. I use it way more than I should. I have a problem with the clutch. If you saw in my last video, I trained with Austin Barons and mentioned it to him. He helped me a little bit, but it's something that I have to work on, especially if I want to get faster. Thought it was something with the clutch, nothing I could do. Rode my 2 motos. Everything worked fine when I was on the track. I didn't feel any issues. The next day, I had a Pro Taper front sprocket at home, a brand new one. Took that sprocket, took the Sunstar sprocket off. Yeah, so I noticed the Pro Taper front sprocket is beveled on the front, which I have a picture. I'll put it up right now. And the Sunstar front sprocket isn't beveled at all. So what was happening was, with the Sunstar front sprocket on, it was putting pressure on, the gear shaft, and maybe even putting pressure up against the cases. Either way, it was creating a ton of resistance. Or definitely, if you do buy a front sprocket, check that out before you put it on, because it was a simple oversight that I didn't see or notice, and it could have had huge implications towards my bike. Luckily, don't need a clutch right now, so I'm still probably going to get one soon because I think I do need one. It's just not as bad as I thought it was. Just want to say also, thank you so much for everybody that has supported us. We are killing it. The first 2 rounds, I'm still getting orders today, which is now a week later for last week's race. That's never happened before. I normally got orders like 1 to 2 days after, and then that was it. You guys are really supporting us, and I really appreciate it, because photographers, they need the support of the riders. We don't have to be out there every weekend. We don't have to be out there in the rain, in the wind, in the cold, taking pictures of you guys. Everybody has a camera now. Everybody has a smartphone. But we do it because we love to do it. Me personally, I love taking photos. I get more excited taking a good photo now than riding. Yeah, it's really something that I really enjoyed doing. It's a nice stress relief for me as well. And it's so cool to see the positive feedback and to see people recognize me and be like, hey, that's the guy that takes the pictures at the racetrack, or people just like tag me in a post. They'll buy a photo and they'll tag me in a post, and that's the coolest thing ever to see. I still get excited when I see people's, like my photo as people's profile picture, whether they bought it or not. It's just really cool to see it there, It shows that I'm growing as a business and people are really liking what I'm putting out there. So keep supporting, keep sharing stuff, keep liking stuff, keep following us. Yeah, thank you very much.
Moto.